On a morning in the 8th century, as the sun was shining dimly across the Frankish mist, a child was born in a modest but immensely important palace, a child who no one expected would change the face of Europe forever. The year was around 742 AD, but even time has not accurately preserved that historical moment, as if fate wanted to leave his birth shrouded in an aura of mystery, as if this boy who was named Charlemagne had been created outside the bounds of time. His father, King Pepin the Short, was a man of majesty and cunning, who had ascended to the throne after years of struggle and planning, laying the foundations of the Carolingian dynasty. His mother, Bertrada of Leon, was a wise and influential woman who told stories of honor and faith to her children, as if planting seeds of strength and courage in their hearts. Charlemagne grew up within the walls of those palaces that knew the sound of conspiracies and the clamor of military plans, but also knew stories of the unity of peoples and the greatness of the Roman Empire that once ruled the world. But Europe at that time was nothing but a torn canvas, a map of chaos and destruction. If we look at the map of that era, we see the Iberian Peninsula in the southwest under the control of the Muslims who founded Andalusia, a beacon of science and culture. In the north, the Franks, to whom Charlemagne belonged, stand as a relatively cohesive force, trying to withstand diverse enemies. In the east, the Germanic and Slavic tribes spread like a restless storm, and in the far north, there are the Vikings. As for the heart of Europe, small, warring kingdoms spread like isolated islands in the middle of an ocean of discord and war. The great cities, such as Paris and Aachen, were like gems shining in the midst of chaos. However, these gems were only pale shadows compared to the glory of the ancient Roman Empire. The roads that were once the arteries of trade and culture were deserted, and the walls of the castles that protected the empire were groaning under the weight of time. The church, despite its spiritual strength, lacked military and political support, searching for a leader who would unite Europe under the banner of the cross and rebuild the crumbling world. After the night had cast its heavy cloak over the Frankish kingdom in 768, news came that would change the fate of the Frankish kingdom forever. King Pepin the Short died, leaving his throne to his two sons, the young and ambitious Charlemagne and the reserved Carloman. The crown was double, but the souls were different. Charlemagne, with his wild ambition and his vision that pierced the horizon, seemed born to rule. However, the beginning was turbulent. The division of the kingdom between the two brothers created a hidden crack in its walls. The relationship between them was not easy, and tensions were rising like the waves of an uneasy sea. But fate intervened quickly, and in 771, Carloman left the world suddenly and mysteriously, leaving Charlemagne to stand alone before the throne of the kingdom. It may have been too early to rule, but Charlemagne, like a falcon taking its first flight, realized that the historic opportunity did not wait. Charlemagne believed that rule was not maintained by words alone, but by fire and iron. He drew his sword and began to write a new history on the pages of Europe. He was not just a king. He was a warrior, a strategist, and a dreamer of a vision of an empire stretching under one banner. When Charlemagne ascended the throne in 768, the political map of Europe was a mosaic of kingdoms, tribes, and small empires, reflecting a period of great transformation after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. This map was influenced by religious conflicts, tribal alliances, and territorial ambitions. The Frankish kingdom extended over most of the lands that today constitute France and parts of Germany, Belgium, and Switzerland. The kingdom was divided between Charlemagne and his brother Carloman. Charlemagne ruled the western part of the kingdom, while Carloman ruled the eastern part. This division added internal political tension until the kingdom was united after Carloman's death in 771. The Frankish kingdom was the most prominent Christian power in Western Europe and the main rival of the other European kingdoms. The Lombard kingdom controlled northern Italy, including the present-day Piedmont and Lombardy regions. The Lombard king, Desiderius, was a powerful opponent of Charlemagne later. The kingdom was seen as a threat to the papacy in Rome. Lombardy was a major regional power in the Italian peninsula, controlling strategic passages linking Western Europe to the Mediterranean. In the depths of the Middle Ages, the European continent was a theater of complex and often brutal conflict. The star of Emperor Charlemagne, the formidable Carolingian ruler, rose as he sought to unify Europe under the banner of Christianity. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire, albeit diminished from its golden age, maintained its grip on the Balkans, Anatolia, and the Near East, with Constantinople standing as its religious and cultural heart. This intricate landscape was marked by a profound East-West schism, with the Byzantine Empire and Western Europe at odds. In Iberia, the Umayyads exerted control over most of the peninsula, with Córdoba flourishing as a beacon of Islamic civilization and scholarship. Yet, resistance brewed in the northern Christian emirates like Asturias and Aragon, turning the region into a battleground between Islamic and Christian forces. Britain presented another tapestry of conflict, divided into Anglo-Saxon kingdoms such as Wessex and Mercia, each vying for dominance while the Celtic fringes remained independent. Despite internal strife, the Christian Church was beginning to wield a unifying influence. Further north, pagan Saxon and Germanic tribes occupied lands that would become modern Germany and Denmark, clashing frequently with the Christianized Frankish kingdom. In the east, the Slavs and Avars inhabited the regions of modern Poland, Ukraine, and the Hungarian plains, often threatening the Byzantine and Frankish frontiers. These times saw Charlemagne embroiled in the Saxon Wars, characterized by brutality and symbolic acts such as the destruction of Morasel, intended to crush Saxon spirits and assert Christian supremacy. Charlemagne's ambitions extended to Islamic Spain. His campaign against Al-Andalus in 778, motivated by religious zeal and political opportunism, intended to destabilize the Emirate of Córdoba. Lured by promises of alliance by local leaders like Sulayman al-Arabi, Charlemagne crossed the Pyrenees only to encounter unexpected resistance. The imposing walls of Zaragoza remained unbreached, and betrayal rendered Charlemagne's campaign futile. As the Frankish army retreated through Roncesvalles, they fell victim to a cunning Basque ambush, supported by Muslim allies. Amongst the casualties was Roland, the courageous Frankish commander, whose death inspired the epic poem, The Song of Roland, a testament to bravery and defeat. This conflict, marked by alliances that transcended religious differences, highlighted the political intricacies and inscrutable landscapes of the time. The rich civilization of Córdoba, under the astute Abd al-Rahman I, withstood Charlemagne's incursions, offering a vision of grandeur through its magnificent architecture and scholarly achievements. This era saw the clashing of distinct worldviews, with the Christian West striving for dominance against a resilient Islamic civilization, both inspiring and deterring one another. Ultimately, Charlemagne's endeavors in Spain, though unsuccessful, underscored the unyielding might of Al-Andalus and the complexities of medieval European politics. Charlemagne's legacy is one that has been recounted across generations, often encapsulating the ethos of a ruler who, despite setbacks, embraced the broader perspective of wisdom over mere conquest. Returning to Aachen after the fateful defeat at Roncesvalles Pass, Charlemagne was accompanied not by the fanfare of victory, but by a solemn silence that permeated his court. He understood then the complexities of Spain, recognizing it as terrain not easily subjugated by force alone. Yet, this setback was not his defeat, as Charlemagne saw beyond the loss to the lesson therein. His empire, much like a tapestry, had unraveled patches to attend to, with the Saxons presenting a continuous challenge in the east. These tribes, entrenched in their pagan traditions, had been a thorn in the Frankish domain. With campaigns beginning in 772 AD, Charlemagne adopted a relentless approach, not just militarily but religiously, destroying sacred sites like the Temple of Morasel, a symbol of pagan beliefs, and forcing conversions to Christianity. Widukind, their leader, was among those who submitted, a testament to Charlemagne's tenacity and strategic acumen. Meanwhile, the dangerous sedition of the Lombards required Charlemagne's attention in northern Italy. Answering Pope Adrian I's plea, he journeyed across the Alps, enduring the harsh alpine climbs, and besieged the Lombard capital, Pavia. Claiming the Iron Crown of the Lombards and extending his protection to the papal territories, this alliance with the papacy later proved pivotal, culminating in Charlemagne's crowning as Emperor of the Romans by Pope Leo III in 800. This act effectively resurrected the Holy Roman Empire, a new era of imperial ambition underpinned by Christianity and a political partnership with the Church. Though Spain remained unconquered, Charlemagne's strategic creation of a buffer zone known as Marca Hispania underscored his adaptive strategy, establishing defensive bastions in cities like Barcelona to avert the risks posed by proximity to Andalusia. As his life drew to a close, Charlemagne succumbed to typhoid fever in 814. His passing in Aachen was marked by a gathering of his closest kin and advisors, a solemn farewell to a world he had irrevocably reshaped. His enduring legacy is one of profound influence, an embodiment of strength, foresight, and governance that would ripple across the annals of history as a hallmark of kingly wisdom.